In this tutorial, we want to look at how to use the long shadow tool and the uniform transform tool in Gimp. I'm using Gimp 2.10.22. So I'll start by just going to File, New, and then I just create a new. I would just let the background be the fill be the background color. So my background color is white. Now I would go. I'm going to show it with the text tool, so I just go for my text tool, and then I will increase, maybe let's increase the size of our text to about maybe 250 or so. Okay, now I'm just using the sans serif, and then I would go here and write maybe good luck. I mean, it's a big test, but for you to see what is happening, that's all. I would maybe, let me do a duplicate of this. Okay, I always like doing duplicates. Okay, now with this done, I want to show our long shadow. For our long shadow, we just have to go to filters, and then we go to light and shadow, and then you choose long shadow. Now you see that the long shadow, it comes from the color that is in the foreground. So for you to, if you want to adjust that color, you can choose any other color you think is adequate for what you want to do. For example, now I can choose something like yellow, and then I do okay. Now you see that this is too long, so you always adjust the length of this. If you pull it up, the length, it becomes very long, and then as you reduce it, it goes down. So I'll reduce it a bit to this point. I think that is a reasonable shadow than the very long one. But you can also increase it if in case you have some plans of doing something different. Okay, we increase it like this, and then we can also adjust the angle. The angle here, you can choose whichever angle you want the shadow to be in. So you can just be adjusting this until you think, I like what I have, and then you can go on and do what you want. If, for example, I put the angle way down, I get something like this. I can also try to adjust it so that I have it something like this. I think I prefer for this tutorial, I would just go something like this. Okay, now you can also choose the style. The style you can choose infinite, that is really, and then you can choose fading, so it's like it's fading, and then you can also choose fading fixed length, so it fades with some kind of fixed length. I will just use the finite for this tutorial, and you can also choose the composition. You can either say I want to have shadow plus image, which I have. This is the what I had, because this can be used for image as well. I'm just using a text now, and then the shadow. Or you can also go here and say I want only the shadow, then you get this. Or if you want shadow minus, you can also choose this option, but I prefer shadow plus image. I have this nicely what I want. And add clipping, you can adjust the clipping, whether you want the clipping it to adjust, to be adjust, or to be clip. When it's clip, it's really clipped into the clipboard. Like if I increase the length a bit, you see what I mean when we choose adjust. Adjust is like it does what you want, and clip, it clips to the clipboard. Now I will use adjust, and then I'll just reduce my length to where I feel I want something like this. I think I'm good with it. And then you can now do okay. You can also reduce the opacity in case you don't want it like really. You can either reduce the opacity, but with me for this tutorial I'll just push it to 100 and then I do okay. So this is how to use the long shadow tool. Now I go to the uniform transform tool. The uniform transform tool, let me do a duplicate of this. Okay, I'll just do a duplicate of this there and then use that one. When you come here and you press it, when you go, first you have to go for the tool. So you can take it from here, tool, transform tool, and then you can see the uniform transform, or you can simply come here and then when you click it you choose, when you click it you choose the uniform transform. Now the uniform transform, you can say you want there are other more things that you can use here. You can either transform with respect to a layer, with respect to a selection, or respect to a path, or respect to an image. So depending on what you are doing, if you want it to be respect to a layer, if in case, let's see, we select with respect to a selection. So I come here and now I have this, I have my good luck word. When I press it, because it's a selection, I've not really selected the text, so it doesn't work. Now if I choose a path, not the same, but if I choose a layer, because this was in a layer, you see it gives us what we want here, and it's neither an image. So now the next thing we would want to do is that if you hover your cursor around, you see that because you have so many handles, you don't know what it means. If you are new, you see that if you come here, this tells you that these boxes are for scale because they are indicated here. You see, if I'm here, this, if I'm on this and it's lights, this orange lights, it means I can scale. So I can scale the thing a bit, or yes, I can scale whatever I have. Let me just close all these so they are not disturbing. I can scale. I can also, if you go inside, this inside one is perspective, so you can change the perspective in case you want to do some change in perspective. But with this I wouldn't do anything, so I go to Ctrl Z. And now you can also do a share if you want. If you want to share your thing a bit, you can also do. There's one thing here I have to talk about. When you look here, the constraints, you can constrain it that when you move, if you press constrain, when you move, you want it to move in 45 degrees angles. Normally if you move, you can move when you click inside. You can rotate when you click outside. So in case I click here, you can see that I can rotate my thing. Now it's rotating with respect to the pivot, which is here. It shows you, if you look down, there's a pivot point. You can also move the pivot point and then do a rotation around the pivot points. So with this, maybe let's say I reduce this a bit. I want to reduce the size. I can just go here to this box which says scale, and then I scale it down a bit, and now I rotate it maybe like this, or maybe let me move this here, but just for it to be within this what we want. Yeah, then we can have our rotation with respect to this. I can also move this here and then continue my rotation. I can rescale it if it's too big. I can scale it. Let's scale it a bit. Let me see. Yes, I want to scale it, and then we move it. The good thing about this tool is that it combines everything, so it's not like you have to go and pick the scaling, you pick the rotation, and you put down, you pick this and you put down, you pick this and put down. It's combined, so you can just do things to together. That's why I like it. So in case I move, let's if I finish this anyway, this tool is here. When you finish everything, if you want to reset, you press this, readjust this. If you are finished, you just press transform and it has already transformed. I just put the old one here for you to see this was what it was, and this is what we've played around with. We can also come back to it if we want to adjust something. As long as it's selected, you can adjust things a bit here. And I mean, if I want to rotate a bit for it to be straight like this, and then I do transform. Now if I'm done, if I'm satisfied with what I've done so far, I can just go here or I can just choose any other thing or anything at all I want, and then I'm done with what I want to do. So that's it. This is basically what you can do when you want to use the long shadow and uniform transform tool. If this helped you in any way, please help me by subscribing to my channel, and please give it a like, and I hope you come back again. Thank you. Bye.